He's the only regular star everyday outfielder available on the free agent market. Words from Mike Petriello.
Absolutely. J.D. Martinez can hit, not much of a fielder. Dyson can field, not much of a hitter. If you're looking for an all-around above-average outfielder, Lorenzo Cain is the man, and nobody's talking about him. Right?
So who should get him? Who needs Lorenzo Cain right now? You made a list. Some of the names are surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first team will not be surprising. The San Francisco Giants, even before they traded Denard Span away, they were a very weak defensive outfield. They've been the very first to say that. And so what we've done is for each of these teams, put together some side-by-side clips just to show the difference. Right? So if we look at Cain versus Span, these are selected because they are basically identical plays, about 65 feet to go in about 4 seconds. Doesn't even get there nearly as quickly. He gets there easily on the right side. Span doesn't come close. The difference between these two guys was almost 30 outs last year. That would be an enormous difference for the San Francisco Giants. Now, this one's interesting. This one is the Toronto Blue Jays. I know Kevin Pillar has a great reputation for making diving catches. Again, a very similar play, about 80 feet in about 4 seconds. Kevin Pillar has dropped about 130, gotten to 130 fewer balls in the last 2 years. And then finally, this one is Charlie Blackmon in the Colorado Rockies. Now, I like Charlie Blackmon. I like him a lot. But he is a good outfielder in a center field where you need a great outfielder. And what do I always say about the Rockies when they come on the show? They need bats. Their offense outside of those two guys is struggling. You put Blackmon in the corner. You put Cain in center field. Now, I know that Cain is 32. I know that speed doesn't necessarily age well. You can see here he was one of the top 5 rangiest outfielders. And in terms of speed, we had him rated equally to Trey Turner. If he declines a little bit, that's still pretty good. He was in the top 5% of speed last year.
Wow. And those 3 clips, Burnsy, he never hit the ground either.
It was easy.
Smooth glide to the baseball.
He's a closer. And I say that in the sense that you saw, let's just take Charlie Blackmon, for example, who I think actually, Coors Field is so difficult to play, and I think he does a really good job there. He doesn't get the credit I think he deserves as being a pretty good outfielder. But Lorenzo Cain, and I've said this for a few years now, he's an elite outfielder. I put him at the very top of the list when we talk about the best defensive outfielders in the game. And the reason why is when he comes up to a ball, he's not afraid to close. And there comes a spot, Joel, when it's like a distance between me and you, where that ball's dropping, and I have to decide, number 1, am I going to dive? Number 2, am I going to let up? Or number 3, am I going to stay on my feet and go get it? And he has as good of a feel as anybody in the game of baseball of knowing what to do in what scenario. There's a lot of times, you guys all know this, we see guys pull up because they don't have the confidence to stay on their feet or to dive to go get that ball. And Cain, again, he knows how to do it. He knows how to close. He knows how to make that catch.
I think great center fielders are like great wide receivers. It's almost as if the ball waits for them to get there. Like Antonio Brown is getting underneath the pass, you know, and it's not doing the off the edge of the fingers thing. I think one of the most underrated center fielders, in his time he was appreciated. Devon White was a guy never left his feet like Cain, just made so many. StatsCast would have loved him. The metrics would have loved him. My concern with Cain is a little bit, and I know this guy isn't as good an outfielder, is like with Dexter Fowler. If you sign him to play center and he loses his ability to play center, does he have enough bat to go to a corner and make you still feel good about him as an overall player? Cain is a good offensive player and a great defensive player. If he's just good and not at as an important position, because you got to give him 4 or 5 years to sign him. Like, to me, I want him so badly for the next 2 years because, to Mike's point, he is an out creator, especially if you've had a center fielder who isn't. And I love him as a player. My fear is, what do I have after those first 2 years? Because his impact on the corners as a total player just isn't as much.
2018 is going to be his age 32 season. Yeah, 32, 33, okay. 34, 35, you start getting worried with any of these legs guys. Makes sense.